Previously on the mini build, we tackled every mechanical issue head on to get this car rolling, running and driving again. Then the body parts went off to the paint shop for a full transformation, and now they're back, fitted, and finally bringing this mini together as a complete car once more.
And in this video we will definitely get to finish this car and go through the numbers. Stay tuned. This should hopefully be the last parcel I need for this car. So if you remember in the last episode, I realised I needed to replace the wheel arch liner. Well, again, doing a bit of research online, the cheapest one available was from BCP, the same place we got the bonnet and the bumper from. Now sure, it's a pattern part, but that doesn't bother me. And there she is. Look at that. Slight difference there, it's got a joint, it's actually two parts joined together. But that makes no difference, that hopefully will still fit just as good as the original. So that means we've got to jack this up and get that wheel off again, hopefully for the very last time this time.
Now I've got to admit this was a pretty tight fit, and I originally thought that this ain't gonna work because none of the holes kind of lined up when I first put it in, but after a bit of jiggling around and moving it about, I got all the holes to line up and all the bolts and nuts back in place.
Right, that's fitted, so let's get this wheel back on and get it off this axle stand. Now that's all done, it's going to lead me on to an interesting one for me, and that's these dual controls that the car has, as this was an ex-driving instructor's car. Now I've never dealt with these before, so it's going to be interesting to see how these actually work. So let's go and have a look in the car at the moment and I'll show you what I've got. So here we can see the passenger side of the car where you have another clutch and a brake. And if you look, you can see at the back there that they're actually pulling a wire. Now they go via these two cables to the other side. And here we see the other side, so this is those two cables coming in, but if you look, the wires, are just attached here to the actual pedals. Oh, okay, so I think this might come off quite easily. There's just a little spring clip up here as well that needs to come off. Oh, actually it's a full bracket. It's a full bracket on the top here. So I don't think this will be that difficult to get off. Famous last words, that, innit? I think the worst part is going to be getting those two cables at the back there from behind all of this lot. Right, let's get some tools and let's start taking these apart.
And this was just a matter of removing the two clamps that were attached to each of the pedals, and then removing the bracket that was holding the spring return. That meant I could then remove the base plate that contained the pulley system.
Right, that's a lot of that side done. I'm just going to go to the other side now to see if I can release these cables so I can pull them through this way rather than having to dismantle all of the pulleys and everything there, because I can't see how that's going to go around the back as it is. Let's go check the other side and find out. Right, I'm thinking if I look under this plate here, I should be able to release these two and then pull them back through to the other side. So let's take this plate off and see what we've got under there. So I should be able to take this off the end here, unravel it from this, and then that will release those and I should be able to pull those back through to the other side.
Yeah, taking these off was a pain. There's so many spacers and washers that as I was pulling them off, they were just dropping on the floor behind the carpet. But yeah, I managed to get there.
So now I'll get a couple of spanners and undo these, and this should come out, and hopefully I can pull them through to the other side. Oh yes! Oh, thank God for that. I thought I was going to have to take all that apart behind there. Right, let's go back to the other side and remove the pedals from that side.
Yeah, I found this interesting to actually discover how these things are installed. Obviously I knew of dual control, but I'd never really seen how they worked. Now we know.
And then we just fit a bung back in here just to protect the hole and push the carpet back into place. And the same on the other side. Now I am told these cost £650 when new, and I've seen one of these for sale for £300 on eBay, so I think I'm going to stick this up on eBay and see if anybody wants it. That's going to offset some of the cost on the actual car. So I just got a call from the body shop that there's been an update on my GT3RS replica build. So let's jump in the i8 and let's go visit Automotive Finesse. And here we are at the Big Red Shed, which is Automotive Finesse's headquarters here in Doncaster. So let's go inside and let's check out what they've done with my GT3RS replica build. Right guys, here we are. So as you can see, so this is my Porsche 996 991 GT3RS replica that I'm building. And look at this car now. So Rudy's explained that he's got this in polyester. That's all they've done at this point, is just really block it all down to get it to a point where they can look at the panel fitting and then decide exactly what needs to be done. And yes, there is still a lot of work needs to be done on this car, but you know what? It looks amazing all in one colour. Yes, I know there's still a lot of work to do on this car, but we've agreed a lot of things here. So if you remember, we look at these here, so these have got to be painted. So I think we're going to do like a gloss black on them. This has got to be filled in and sorted. These, we've come up for a solution for these now, with these air intakes, which is these things here. They don't fit as good as they should, but I think we'll get that to work, and we've got a solution for that. These lights here, the kit kind of is level there and level here, but it kind of loses it here. So we need to alter the shape of that, but that's going to be done by the body shop. We've got a solution for the rear wing, and this is going to be filled because I could not find a light that would fit in there. So I'm just going to use the existing light, which shines through the wing anyway, so that's fine. And the roof. So I'm told by the body shop to remove this sunroof. It's a pain in the ass to get back in. So they're just going to open the sunroof and pop out the rubber that's down here, and then that should allow them to paint this, mask it off and paint it, so that should be fine. So yeah, that's the update guys. So this car is coming on. They've got a lot of work to do on the body shop, but it's moved on. So I've informed Automotive Finesse to not put a priority on this build. So I've got a lot of cars on my drive at the moment that I need to shift. So this car is taking its time, but obviously when it's in paint, when it's coming back from the body shop, I'll do a whole video on me rebuilding this car. So that's it for the update now. Oh, just one thing, look at this. That looks amazing, doesn't it? It really is probably worth 10 times the value of my car. Anyway, that's it for now. Back to the video. Oh, we're getting so close to the end now. So next one, let's get rid of all this Copart stuff that's stuck on the windscreen. Now I did get asked a question in one of the comments of why I've got a tennis ball hanging from rafters, but basically what it is I leave that centre of the garage. When I pull in a bigger car, once the windscreen touches that ball, and on the back end of the car is clear of the garage door, and I can just shut it. That's all it's for, but it's such a simple way of measuring your car into the garage. Right, let's carry on. This is going to need a bit of scraping. At last, a clear windscreen. Right, now for the next job. Now, every time I get in the car, I get this error on the little screen. And that's to do with the passenger protection system, which is to do with those explosive charges that pushed up the bonnet. Now, I've replaced those. Now, I'm really hoping I can now use my computer to remove those errors. Let's have a look. Right, so this is my computer. Now, people are asking which type am I using. So this is the top done RTDIG 800 BT. BT for Bluetooth. Because what you do is you pop that bit out of there, and then you just go plug that into the OBD port, and it's wireless or Bluetooth. So let me do that. Right, so that's that plugged in there now. So let's go to OBD. Ah, there you go, connecting Bluetooth. Look, it's flashing on there now, so it has connected the Bluetooth. So let's check out diagnostics. Right, I thought I'd press record, but I hadn't. What an idiot. But this is just let me show you where I went. So I've gone to Mini, Gone to automatically search, hit next, and then went to health report. Now when I did this before, there was actually 2 errors in the SRS system, which was the 2 errors for those explosive charges. And as you can see now, the SRS system is absolutely clear, no errors at all. Just this one error here, so I'm going to clear that. And there we have it, the car is fully green.
So now the only error shown by the car was that the washer fluid was low, because obviously we've replaced the bottle and there was no water whatsoever in it. And then after this should mean that the car is clear of all faults.
Right, let's go check that out now. The car should not be whining about anything. And also, daft it seems, I just want to check the washers and the wipers, because I want to make sure I've got the wipers in the right position, having had them off and put them back on again. So they need to go up and down the correct way. Let's just check that. Oh, yes. Well, apart from that, but that's fine. I'm just going to shut the door and wind the windows up here. I'm going to check the wipers and the washers work correctly. So that's wipers. Yes. Give it a wash. Superb. Right, so last thing, I'll just start it up and just show you I've got a clear dashboard with no errors. And there we go. So that's just the handbrake. If I take the handbrake off, that's obviously gone. And I have got the boot open, that's fine. And obviously the other one is the seatbelt, which I've not got on. The car is clear of errors.
And it's only fair that I give this car a nice clean after all the work that's been done to it. Which means shifting everything about on my drive again to give this car some room.
And now she's all clean, let's give her a nice treat and put some nice new car mats in place. Got a little bit dark now, so I'm going to have to put it away and get it out tomorrow to take the photos so I can advertise this up on Facebook Marketplace and get it sold. Oh, it's so cold. It's a different day now, and after doing the cleaning of the car, on inspection I found a little bit more damage to the stripes. Look at this. So you see this here? That just looks rubbish, doesn't it? Yeah, and I found a few marks in some of the other stripes, so you know what, I think I've made the decision now. I'm going to remove all of the stripes and sell the car stripeless. Now I think that'll be a bigger market, because someone looking to buy this car, they may not want a car with stripes. But if you do like a British racing green car and you want stripes, you can get them installed later on. So I think it'd be better for the market and better to sell if I remove these stripes. So let's rip them off. And to do this job so I don't cause any damage, I've got a little plastic scraper thing there and my heat gun. Let's get cracking. I need it. It's freezing in here. Well, that's one bit nearly off. What a pain in the backside this is, but it's so cold in here that this is really brittle. And I do need to heat it up, but you can only heat it up a certain amount. Heat it up too much, it just melts and pulls apart. Just get a little bit of warmth and just pull it gently, which is sawing some of that. So I think I've got the technique now, so I'm going to go off and do all of this now. I'll put it on a very quick time lapse, so for you it'll just be a few seconds. For me, it's going to be a couple of hours. Well, there you go. You know, that wasn't too bad. It kept cracking and breaking because it's so brittle, because the, look at that, temperature. It's pretty cold. It's 1.9 degrees in this garage today. But yeah, that didn't take as long as I thought it would, and I managed to get all that off. And you know what? I quite like it. I think this car looks pretty nice without those stripes. Drop me a comment, guys. What do you think? Do you prefer the stripes, or do you prefer it without? Now I've just generated myself 2 new jobs. Now, 1, remove all the excess glue that's still stuck there, and 2, polish this up, because where the stripe has been, it's very, very clean, and outside of that you can see some swirl marks. So I'm going to get the polisher out. I'll come back to you when all that's done. Oh, and now for a little bit of bad news. When I took the car out to clean it, I looked on the garage floor and I noticed there was a little bit of oil there. Oh, I'm thinking, no, that was not there before, so I may have an oil leak. So now I've got to get this back jacked up again, get that under tray off, and have a look around, see if I can see where this oil's coming from. And to do that, I'm going to use the ramps, because I should be able to get some extra height a lot quicker using the ramps and jacking it up. Well, that's a lot easier than jacking up, isn't it? And also with these, they are adjustable, so they've got bottle jacks underneath, and you can jack it up to get even higher. So that's what I'm going to do to get a little bit more height as well. First of all, let's get some chocks behind the rear wheels, even though the handbrake is nicely jammed on. So I suspected it would have been the drive shaft here, but no, that's dry as a bone. It's all dry around here. There is no moisture at all, no oil there, and it's dry right up till we get here. But then I think a lot of this here is just the residue of when this axle had snapped and this all came out, then it threw quite a bit of rubbish around here. But I think that's just residue from that. But the oil seems to be over this side. I may be mistaken. Let's make sure there's nothing leaking under there, is there? No, everywhere I'm looking is dry. Absolutely dry. So I think that's good news. The oil was over that side on the garage floor, so I expect it to come from this side of the car, but you know what? She's dry. So I'm happy with that, so I'm going to get all this back together, and I think we can call it a day for underneath the car. And it never ends. So whilst cleaning this car, I noticed another problem. Let me show you this. Now, I might not be able to get the light right, but can you see there? You see there's got some scratches on the glass. Can I get reflection off the light in there? Maybe. So this has got some scratches there, which I'm assuming the helmet of a motorcycle rider sort of caught this window as it went. It's not massive, but you can see them. So what I bought ages ago, I've just been digging out here, I bought this glass polishing kit. When I had my first F-Type, it had a load of scratches on the window, which was a known problem. It gets grit inside the runners and just marks the window up and down. So I bought this kit to do that. Never ever used it. I ended up selling it and buying the SVR, which had good windows. Right, so in this set you've got different abrasions, coloured discs there, look, but we've got these polishing discs here. I think that's what I'm going to use. I'm just going to try and give it a little polish, because I've got some glass polishing compound here. So I'm just going to try and give that a little bit of a polish and see if we can get rid of those scratches. And you just use your drill. Right, so I think I'm wrong, and feeling it, I can feel, yeah, there is some marks. So I'm going to get the abrasion disc and we'll try and sand this a bit to get rid of those marks. So as you can probably see, it's left it all cloudy in this area. So what we need to do now is just move all that. And like any polishing, we've used higher abrasive there. So we're going to move down onto the blue coloured one, which is a lighter abrasive, and go over it again. So now we'll give the area a clean up with some water to remove any fine bits of glass that's in there. That's looking good. Looks like the damage is now gone. So now the next stage is to now polish this back to clear glass again. And wow, not sure if you can see it on the camera there. Yeah, it's getting better. Obviously needs a bit more polishing, just to get rid of the cloudiness. So let's give it another go. And that, my friends, has come out nicely. So those scratches are now gone. There's a very faint one there, but that's hardly noticeable now. Not as bad as it used to be. And that's another job knocked off the list. And then it's down to the final piece to install on this car, and yes, that's the mini badge.
So this is just stuck on with a couple of sticky pads, and it has some little bits of plastic sticking out to align it, and look at that when it's done. Doesn't it look amazing?
To bring this build to the finish line, there's one last thing that has to be checked on this car, and that's the tracking. After a crash like this car's been through, there's always that one doubt in your mind. Has the tracker end been bent? Is there any further damage underneath that I didn't notice? Do we need to replace it or just get it adjusted? So that's where I'm going to take this car now. A lot of you called me out in the comments on previous builds saying that if you're doing these cars, you should give it a clean bill of health and get an MOT on it. And honestly, you were right. So I booked this car in to have the tracking checked and an MOT. The current MOT still has 3 months left on it, and by doing this I'm throwing those 3 months away. But there's a massive upside to that. The next owner gets peace of mind and a full 12 months MOT. So let's go. Right, so I am at Savoy Tyres, and I know these guys don't like filming, so I won't be able to film this. So I'm going to go in there and hand the car over to them, so the next time we'll see this car, it'll hopefully have passed its MOT, the tracking will all be good, and this build will be finished.
2 hours later.
Right guys, I have in my hand the results of the MOT and the tracking, so let's get to the car and I'll tell you all about it. Right then, for the tracking, now I thought I would probably get a report, but there's no report. But the guy said, not a problem, the tracking was sorted, so there can't be anything bent or twisted under there, which is great news. So this car is perfect from that point of view. And as for the MOT, well, she passed! She passed with no advisories. So this car is 100% fixed and finished. So here we are, it's time to go through the numbers as promised. Now, if you've watched it from the start, you know that I got this car for $2,750. But once you add in all the Copart costs, this comes to $3,385. Now what I've done, just listed the big ticket items here, and then I put everything else into miscellaneous because there's so many parts to this, I'm not itemising each one. So looking at the big ticket ones, the headlight itself was £130. The new wheel, £149.99. Now I managed to get the bonnet, the bumper and the front lip all in one price, and that price came to £538.47. Now the wing I bought separately because I thought I was getting a British Racing Green wing, but it was a different British Racing Green, so I paid a bit more than I would have for this. So the wing was £99.99. The axle shaft surprised me. It wasn't as expensive as I expected it would be. That was £59.99. The big one in all of this, apart from the bonnet and the bumper, was the body shop. That was, I think, a good price at £500. Then of course you had the new tyre, £87.99, and then miscellaneous, so every other part that I use came to £653. That gave me a grand total for this build of £5,604.43. But if you take off the original cost of $3,385, that means the total cost to build this car was £2,219.43. Now that price there is the price I'm into it for. I've checked online, cars like this are up for sale at the moment, non-catted ones granted, for about £8,500, £9,000. So I'm not going to be greedy. I'm going to put this up for sale for just £7,000. So if you're interested guys, drop me a message. It's at philscars3@gmail.com. Let me know if you would like to buy this car off me, and then we can sort something out. And that's going to be it for my 2020 Mini rebuild. You know what, I've really enjoyed this rebuild. Hope you have too. If you have, then don't forget to subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up, because it really does help with the analytics, because without your support this channel is nothing, and I'm really loving the support. Keep dropping those comments, keep giving a thumbs up, keep watching the videos. Thanks again guys, and until the next time, take care.